Hey, what's going on YouTube? I often get asked, how many times per week am I exercising my ab muscles? And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I only do direct ab workouts 1 time per week. And the key word here is direct. Because even though I'm only training my abs directly 1 time per week, my abs receive plenty of indirect work from other heavy compound lifts such as bench press, deadlifts, and squats. All these heavy compound lifts require utilization of your core muscles to help stabilize the movement as the weight gets heavier. Even body weight calisthenics exercises such as pull-ups require utilization of your core as a stabilizing component. Developing your abdominal muscles is also dependent on developing your entire core, which also includes your hip flexors and lower back. You're limiting your abdominal development if you're not also doing exercises that engage your entire core. But what are some of my favorite exercises that directly target the abdominal muscles? I already made a video short about doing the decline weighted Russian twist sit-up, but that's actually not an exercise that I recommend beginners try, because there's just so many components to the movement that makes the exercise in its final form. The propensity for injury is large, and you already have to have an advanced level of training to be able to do the exercise safely and get benefit from it, which is actually kind of ironic. But training your abdominal muscles is the same philosophy as training any other muscle group for sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. I'm not going to develop my arms by spamming 100 of these. You will have diminishing returns from doing floor crunches. The best ab exercises in turn are going to be ones where you can scale the intensity to target progressive overload, and that often includes exercises where you can add weight. I like doing any ab exercise that gives you a maximal range of motion, like decline bench sit-ups, or doing anything inverted, like in these inverted sit-ups that I made a video about coming up on 11 years now. And the added gravity is intensity by itself, but I really do not recommend you try the inverted sit-ups without a spotter if you're just starting out. When doing decline bench sit-ups, make sure you're driving from your core, not utilizing your neck, not craning your neck, because otherwise you just be doing neck ups instead of sit-ups. It's super relevant to start learning how to do this exercise without weights, because when we want to scale up the intensity by adding weights, we want to put the weight behind our neck instead of across our chest, because putting the weight behind our neck instead of across our chest increases the intensity because it's more angular force, aka torque. The farther the weight is from your center of gravity, the more resistance it can be. So it's important not to do the neck up, because that can cause injury, especially if you're doing the exercise with weights. Hanging knee raises kinesiologically are one of the best, if not the best exercise you can do to target your lower ab muscles. You don't have to do them straight leg, because doing them straight leg, you'll engage a lot of your hip flexors instead of your abs. Hip flexors are important, but we want to target our lower abs using the hanging leg raise. You can do the hanging leg raise hanging from a pull-up bar, or you can use straps if you don't want to hang by yourself. You can also do these in a dip bar, but hanging knee raises are quite excellent, and they can scale up by adding weights to them. So hanging knee raises, that's something I still like doing nowadays. And this assembly runs you a little bit north of $25 on Amazon. These will be about $27. These are by D Moose. Just a little bit north of $50. You can own the best assembly to do hanging leg raises. Once you do get comfortable with the technique for weighted ab exercises, you can begin training for sarcoplasmic hypertrophy by progressively adding weights to 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Now that's kind of where the list for my favorite ab exercises that you can do with weights kinds of ends. What if you only have a floor? You don't have any equipment, but you still want to exercise your core muscles. That's where calisthenics comes in. Calisthenics are inherently more difficult to scale the intensity to target progressive overload because of the impracticality of adding weights to many of these movements. I'm at the level of training where calisthenics don't, air quotes, do very much for me, but I still do a lot of calisthenics exercises for the added mobility and flexibility benefits, and I'm training more for endurance rather than pure strength. I like doing V-ups or the V sit-up. It's one of my preferred calisthenics movements. And I don't do these very often, but these are reverse crunches. But they're very popular, and they're popular for good reason. Beginners can get started on these, and they're good at engaging your lower abdominal muscles. Even without adding weights, you can still develop a strong core by increasing the frequency, intensity, and/or duration of your calisthenics training. Just like everything that you learned about in high school gym class, increasing the intensity of your calisthenics exercises is often going to come from increasing volume. It's difficult to select a one-size-fits-all approach to calisthenics, how many reps or how many sets to do of those reps, but as long as you're logging how much you're doing, how many reps you're doing, or you can log, I'm going to do X number of reps within X number of minutes, then you're going to be improving and developing your core muscle. Also, you can train using calisthenics more often than you would be able to just using the weight room and conventional weight training. So in summary, you do not have to do a substantial amount of exercise that directly targets your abdominal muscles for abdominal development, as long as you're doing heavy compound lifts that require your core as a major stabilizing component. Even then, for compound exercises, you do not have to restrict yourself to bench press, squats, and deadlifts with the barbell. You can do dumbbell bench presses or even dumbbell lunges. But doing compound exercises in some capacity will improve your body composition to where you have a lower body fat percentage and give you more visible abs, more so than just doing isolation exercises for your abdominal muscles. Doing these exercises to develop your entire core, including hip flexors and your lower back, will unlock the full potential of your ab development instead of just directly working your abs by themselves. I hope that this video was helpful for you, help you learn something. Please subscribe to see more of my content. My name is David, and I will see you next video.